Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to week 5 of the Booty League podcast. I'm joined as always by Chris, my co-host
What's
and
up, guys?
special guest today, Tang Royce. What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up? Can't complain. Actually, I have a lot to complain about, but I'll
We'll,
save
we'll,
it for the
we'll
podcast.
get into your therapy session real quick for your quick question. It's going well. I got to go to SoFi with James and Michael.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good experience, and we'll talk about more about how that trade went down. And,
Oh,
and
it went down. It
the
went
perfect
down.
storm, the perfect storm there. I'll give you
Yeah.
some
Oh,
feedback
peel
there.
back the curtain.
All
Yeah.
right, so how's your let's go to a little therapy session for Roy. Seems like he has a lot to talk about. How's your year going for fantasy football? So I'll go ahead and talk about it.
Well, I mean, after the first week, my team looked really good, and I mean, back to back. I mean, week 2 and
Wait,
week
the first
4.
week.
Well, the first week. Let's not talk about the first week. The
Okay,
first
because you
week is
said after the first week.
after,
You mean
right?
like
Week.
after every week after the first week,
Yeah.
not right after week 1. You're like, damn, my team looks good.
No, no. I was about to panic. So I mean, you guys know me as someone who like panics a lot, panic trades. But this
Yeah.
year I stayed strong because I believed in the guys I drafted, and it's
Mm,
looking like it's paying off in terms of the points I'm getting. I'm just not getting the dubs. I dropped 130 week 2.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
so
Yep.
happened Jonathan dropped more,
Yep.
dropped 120, and I finally won. And I dropped another almost 120 this week, or I did drop 120 this week. Still another L. So just bad luck, but I'm still staying strong, I guess.
hmm
It's kind of hard, but yeah.
Yeah,
Surprised you haven't
you've
tilt
been
traded yet. So
you've been
you've
you've
Yeah.
been
been
growing.
staying quiet. You've been
Yeah.
staying. You've changed. What
I've
happened?
changed, dude.
What's
Dude,
going on with your?
lot of hindsight, all right. Last year I traded David Montgomery, DJ Moore, and Mark Andrews because I was panicking.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
was up
Who'd you
five
trade
and
them
one,
for?
dude. Dude, I got like T. Higgins back, Marquise Brown, Daryl Henderson. Like I was trying to get a better floor because they were booming, busting a lot,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then they both had really good ends of seasons. So it's just like a lesson to me to hold on,
Mhm.
get more of a trend before I can make any trades.
Gotcha. I think you sold at the right time, if anything. But
Yeah.
it was rough. All right. 18 transactions this week for waiver wire. It was a spicy week. Um, on Tuesday night, 5 more on Wednesday night. So these are the highly contested, or people spend a big bag for them. We got Damon Williams to Timmy for 97 fab, Laviska Chenault to Royce for 35 fab. The second one was 30. Dawson Knox to James for 30 fab. Don Schultz to James for 30 fab. Those were both outbidded by Timmy and Royce. Those both outbidded Timmy and Royce. Samaj P. Ryan for David, 25. The next closest was 22. Patriots defense for Nick for 21, which was way more than anyone else. Alex Collins to Timmy for 21, followed by Michael for 16. Darnell Mooney 18, Devonta Parker 15, uh, Randall Cobb 11, Khalil Herbert 7, Broncos D James 5 for 2, and then Steelers D Chris for 4, and then Timmy had 3. So Royce, you spent a lot of money. So let's talk about Royce's money spending this week first. What are your thoughts on the waiver?
Well, the reason I drafted DJ Chark beginning of this year was because I really thought the Jaguars would throw a lot. And now that there's less mouths to feed, I mean, 35 is justifiable for me to get Laviska Shenault, especially after seeing, last week he has some potential. And honestly, I was just digging around the waiver wire to get more viable flex options because I feel like I need a I need some like a flex option to consistently put up like 10 points to offset, what Kyle Pitts is doing and stuff like that. So,
Why don't
I
you
mean, I
just bench
took a
Kyle
shot.
Pitts?
I mean, I took a shot in the dark. I guess I just didn't bid as much for Dawson Knox and Dalton
Yeah.
Schultz.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I mean, Pitts is getting a lot of work. He's just not getting the touchdowns. So I'm just waiting out on that. But yeah, basically all the receivers I got were just viable flex options and wide receiver 2 options while Julio's out. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay. David, your thoughts?
Yeah. I don't know who bid. I've actually flip flopped my bids for a while. I had actually Damian Harris or Samaje on the same guy, so I didn't want both of them because that burned my fab. So I set them to drop the same player, and
Mhm.
I was lucky enough. My reasoning behind Samaje was even if I don't get Damien, I'll still have maybe a running back to keep me afloat until for like a week or two for CMC to come back.
Yep, yep.
So that was my reasoning, and I actually changed my bid from 80 to 96 for Damian Williams.
Mhm.
And for Samaje, I'm actually glad I changed it. I changed it from 20 to 25. Like this was like 5 minutes before the waivers passed. I
Yeah.
changed at the last minute, and I didn't think that I 96 would lose because I was looking at everybody's money,
Right.
and I didn't think the people I was competing against were big spenders. You were a
Yeah.
big spender. I don't think you would have bet. You didn't have that much money, so I think every you kind of you kind of price enforced everybody. Did you put any money in?
I put like 33 at the lowest bid.
Okay. Yeah, I think how much money you had kind of price enforced Damian Williams because
Yeah.
you could have you're struggling with running back, so you could have easily gone all in, right?
Yeah, but I
For
wouldn't have
that
gotten him.
5 weeks, yeah, but you wouldn't have gone him. So
Yeah.
you kind of served as a price check. And I feel like overall the league has been spending more money. I feel like more people are gonna be broke mid-season than years
Yes,
past.
sir,
Royce
dude.
I don't
economics,
know.
Royce, we
baby.
got the professor on the podcast.
Show us how it's done. But yeah, we have a couple people sub 100 right now currently. So and it's only week 4 in an extended season. Well, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. It'll be like a transition from fab to waiver priority type of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting dynamic. But
Financial freedom.
yeah, Royce, you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I will say I was very happy with anyone but Nick getting Damian Williams because I mean, the only reason I put a bid in was to keep Nick away from
Same.
getting him. Yeah, and then
Gotcha.
I am surprised at the defense, the Patriots defense for Nick because
Yeah.
I didn't think he'd pay that much. So
He paid a
yeah,
lot for
it
him.
is what it is.
Um, how does it feel to be outbidded that high by one? Like,
You
how do
know,
you feel
Dude.
with that waiver wire hit?
I was actually in when the waiver wire hits on Tuesday, I'm actually in like a class, and so I check real quick on, and I see he outbidded me by one, but at the same time my class is going on, and then the chat's like going wild, right? And so I'm like trying to like. I was like tilting for a little bit, but then I was like, and then people were like typing away, and I'm like, okay, I gotta like close this tab. I gotta close sleeper. Like it's like toxic for me, and I really gotta focus, right? I'm like, sleeper is like omega lolling like so hard, and then it's like just so toxic, and I'm like, okay, I got close sleeper, I got focus, I got cool down. But then in hindsight, I mean, yes, I needed him, but I think I would feel a lot worse if CMC didn't practice yesterday or today in pads. And Timmy is also now broke, so he joins the club.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah.
I think this week was a good week to pick up serviceable running backs,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure if the weeks following will like be the same, like have more running backs. Like almost like all the running backups are like taken
Yep.
or
At this
are
point.
already
Mhm.
in like in the lead back. So it'll be a long time before we get another like running back on the waiver worth this much, I think.
I think so too. I think so too. I want to get some input about my waiver, dude. I told you guys before the podcast I was really mad because I was playing basketball on Sunday,
Mm,
and Damian Williams, I had him, and I was like, it's 12:30. Nothing's gonna happen. Like this game's a blowout. Like I'm just gonna make this drop and then pick up Van Jefferson. Just call it a day. And then right when like my game's done, like and the 1 o'clock game started, I was like, fuck, Damian Williams. The David Montgomery got hurt, so I was
yeah.
super bummed about that. That's on me. But good week of waivers. I thought it was funny that James really said F everyone that needs a streaming tight end, which we'll talk about in the trade section too. Um, but the Fab right now looks like Michael has 55 with the lowest. I have 57. Timmy has 69. Nice. James has 108. And Ty has 200. And Vinny has 194. Vincent has 190. So all three of them still have like, what, 95% of the fab or something like that. 90% of the fab. Yeah, 95% of the fab. So yeah, that's it for waiver. Or talk. Any other last thoughts? We're good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
we're good.
All right, let's jump into shots. We didn't do shots, but we talked about in the podcast that we did think Michael was going to move down to 12 and Gronk was going to have 1.5 touchdowns, but he was out. And then I just didn't put the Michael shot up, but David's going to respect it, so he's taking 2 for losing the head-to-head. I owe 1, and then 1 more for being late, so that's 4. Vin currently owes 2 right now, 1 last week now being late, and then Michael owes 3 for being late 2 weeks in a row. All right. So we're
Wow,
gonna
2 leagues. It should be like
I
compounded.
know,
Double
it
or
should be
nothing.
compounded. Huh? Yeah, I was
Double or
thinking about that.
nothing.
Compounded.
I was
It should.
thinking about
It
that.
should not be. It's not
Just
like
one.
it should not be a +1 multiplier. It should be a times multiplier.
Times multiplier.
Times multiplier.
An actual multiplier.
What's it called? Like the Fibonacci, right? So it's like
Yeah,
1, 2,
the
and
3, 1, 2, 3,
4.
6, or
Yeah. All right. So
All right.
I owe. This is
Well-
my 2, and then you. I'll pour 2 more after you guys show James's and Nick's.
all right.
Cheers. Cheers, guys.
I will join in solidarity after. Are you guys doing it right now? All right.
Yeah.
I have like this much left. Very negligible.
That was from
From
last
last time.
time. You could have added
Yeah, I
that
didn't
much
kill it last time.
into your last
Leak-
shot bet.
Dude, I
Leak,
felt hungover like 30 minutes in.
leak fees should include prices for bottles. Everyone gets a bottle to start off the league.
All right, 1. How did I do so much last time?
You didn't do cognac, that's why.
Oh yeah, true. This is
You
How
right.
do
There's
you drink so much like dark, dude?
I didn't. I drank vodka Tito's last time.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
only way I
easier.
could do it. And I had
think-
Coke.
I think that's the move.
I have water right
I
now.
I think clear's the move. Like for
Clear is
chugging.
definitely the move.
I don't like clear liquor, but I think that's the move. You gotta chug it. All right, you guys, you want to show James' video? Are you taking your second one right now?
Mhm.
I'm gonna name it.
Cheers. Ugh.
Ugh.
I always live for David's like faces after he takes a shot, dude. I have like
We
a
haven't-
collage of them on my phone.
You haven't had a shotgun bet yet, huh?
Yeah.
2 more. Cheers.
Damn.
Oh, I don't know if you know this, but me and dark do not mix.
Yeah, we know.
Me, I think what I can drink clear, I can drink, or what I can drink dark, I can drink double clear. And that's not even, and I can't drink that much clear. All right, let me share my screen to you guys first.
James
I
has
think
5.
we have 5 for James,
Oh, James, every time, dude.
And 3 for Nick.
3 for Nick, so we'll go Nick first.
Nick was a while ago for losing to Timmy, George Kittle, and head-to-head. Oh, now that I think about it, I think Timmy and Nick have a side shot bet for the most points or some shit. So
Oh, he's drinking that.
someone bet that.
Oh.
All right, some Kirkland. Can't go wrong. I got Kirkland tequila myself. Dave is drinking Kirkland cognac. We should get sponsored by Kirkland.
Yeah, we should get sponsored by Kirkland. I'm gonna reach out to them. Again, this was so he
Oh, that
sent
was a
us
heavy one.
he sent us 2 videos, so we don't know if they are in fact the
Bait and
same
switch?
shot, right?
He
I don't
might
know
have
if
put
it's
it
the
wrong.
same shot, you know. That looks like orange. Look at that. Look at that consistent. That's like apple juice consistency.
That's apple juice, bro.
Wait, look at the shape of the ice, man. It's interesting how it melted that much if it was like back-to-back shots, right? All right, we got James a fat one, 5.
Oh, Henny.
I'm dark. Let's go.
Oh,
This
God.
is word on the street is this is right after the Raiders lost. Oof.
Oh God. Hey, he had the right glass for it though.
I like how everyone. Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. I can taste the cognac, or I can taste the dark
Cheers.
from here.
James's faces before he drinks is very determined. He's very driven.
I'm always a fan of James's table shot. Like
Yeah.
That shot right there, yeah.
the camera
Till
is like
Friday for
on
the
the
next
table.
picks.
What'd he say? Can we unmute that?
Oh, sorry.
Tune in Friday for the next picks.
I can't hear it.
He
Yeah,
said,
we
"See
can't
you
hear."
next Friday for the next picks." All right, James, that was good from James.
Excuse me.
All right.
All right.
Why don't you hop us into the next session?
We finally have a fucking trade. God, we have 2 trades this past week, so we're gonna grade that trade.
Finally, we get to play this game. It was like boom, boom.
Itching, dude. I've been itching to grade a trade right here.
We've been running out of segments on this show, man.
The fake teacher in me is just trying to grade something, dude. So David receives Ronald Jones. Jonathan receives
Finally,
2 fab.
pop the cherry.
Dude, second one.
Second one.
We're gonna talk about the next one. Let's. David will go last because he is in this trade. Thoughts on this trade, Royce? Go ahead.
Well, I guess it's a win-win. I mean, Jonathan looked like he needed. I mean, what do you want from me? Jonathan needed to free up a
What
roster
do you
spot.
want from
He
me?
gets two McChickens, and David gets a running back that won't get negative points for him. That's dumb.
We don't know that though, right?
Well, we don't know that. Like,
We
fingers
don't
crossed.
know because
Ronald Jones
he's,
has done it
he's
before.
prone.
I've won a shot bet with Michael Jones against Ronald Jones.
He's notorious for fumbling. We don't know that, all right?
All right, so I do think it's a win-win. David needed an RB. It's worth a shot, especially if Gio's out to split the backfield. Jonathan was gonna drop him anyways after, but factor in whether I should or should not. I'm going to factor in that he spent 32 on him. So with the net loss of 30, it's still a win-win because Jonathan was going to drop him anyways. So I have David with an A because he needed that running back and just that lotto ticket, and then Jonathan gets a B for getting 2 fat back from, kind of saving his losses. So thoughts on how that trade happened?
Yeah, so it was a little weird how the trade happened. I think me and Jonathan have developed good trade relations over the years, right? So this is a good faith trade, right?
Mhm.
It's like a Belichick to whoever the San Francisco head coach is. Like we have that connection, and so Jonathan reached out to me. He's like, David, before Rojo reaches the open market, would you like to trade for him? And I'm like, sheesh, running back? Let me check this. Let me check his points real quick. 4, 8.5. Jesus, you're too good to me, Jonathan. I'm like, and he's like, $2, and I'm like, dude, it's a deal. Like, you can give me 4 points in the RB2 position. I'm good to go.
That's exactly what I need.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered. And then so I just accepted that trade real quick. But so I'll give myself an A. I mean, 2 fab is 2 fab for Rojo.
Mhm.
I think he would have gone for more on the
Exactly.
market. Not
Like,
necessarily.
if anything, you would have bidded like 4 or something.
I
Right?
would have bidded like 5 or just
Yeah.
like because of the name and of he makes headlines a
Situation,
lot. Yeah, the
yeah, yeah.
situation, right? It's still like a little murky.
Yeah.
So I give myself an A, and for Jonathan, I actually give him a B because he could have gone more, but it was a good faith trade. So thank you, Jonathan, for that. I'm starting him this week. Maybe if CMC is out.
Okay. All right. That was the second trade. Probably snowballed from the first trade of the week. Happened Monday night. James receives Antonio Gibson and Chase Claypool. Michael receives Mark Andrews and T. Higgins. Go ahead, David. You can continue your narrative. What's your thoughts on this trade?
Yeah. So it's a banged up Claypool for banged up T. Higgins. I think their timelines are like around kind of the same this week or next week. I'm not sure. I don't really follow their injury report, but I think it's like they've both of them just started practicing, so it could be this week. So if you boil it down, I kind of view those two the same, like kind of in the same tier. And if you boil it down, it's Gibson for Mark Andrews, and I think Gibson as that RB2 is a lot more valuable than Mark Andrews, especially since when this trade happened, Schultz and Knox was actually on the waiver wire, and I feel like those two are like pretty good. Maybe not Mark Andrews levels, but like Mark Andrews like. And so you can't find another. I've tried. You can't find another Gibson on the waiver wire to like plug in. So I would grade James an A for pulling off Gibson, and Michael like a B minus or a C.
All right, Royce, go ahead.
Well, I think the trade was really lopsided. I don't want to rag on Michael too much about this trade because we're always due for the annual tilted Michael trade. I think like to try to pick his brain because I am guilty of doing this in past years is like when he has viable like flex running backs like Zach Moss, J.D. McKissick, you start to feel really confident like, oh well, I can upgrade other positions and still have these guys as my RB2. I still have a good RB1. So I think he's putting all his faith on Zach Moss and J.D. McKissick, and he's he was hurting for a tight end, but in my opinion, like if you don't draft a good tight end, you could always stream and you'll get by with streaming. And he went the other route and
It's
traded,
hard to
a
stream.
running
It's
back.
hard
You
to
know,
And then
stream.
let him finish. Let him finish.
I think, I mean, Mark Andrews is good. He has a solid floor, but how much higher is that floor than like a streaming tight end? Sometimes, I feel like if you're like pretty good, if you do your research on a lot of the tight ends and their matchups, you could, and if you're willing to put out fab to get these tight ends, then you'll be fine. And I mean, for Mark Andrews of all tight ends too, like, I mean, I'm just not, I don't buy it. So for this, I give James an A plus because his running
A
back core,
plus.
his running back stack
Savoy.
is looking insane now. And Michael, I give Michael a D.
Okay. I think James is working on another trade too. I think he's gonna make some moves. So word on the street is he's making some moves. But
I do. What? Oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well,
Finish your
I
thought.
do say, I mean, before the Chargers game, James drove what 7 hours straight at 8 p.m. Dude, you can't tell me he wasn't cooking up a trade while he was driving from Utah to California,
In
dude.
his head.
Cooking this up and then planted it in Michael's head when at the right opportunity.
He knew his audience. He knew his audience.
All right, so let me give you the background of the stage. Monday night, dude, we come out. We come out of the SoFi Stadium. We witness a fight. It's electric. Like Michael's on one. Like dude, Chargers are fucking whooping the Raiders. He's feeling good. He's litty. Like dude, let's go, right? Raiders. Some Raiders fan tries to pick a fight with him with some small ass like baby dick joke, and I'm like, and he's like, he puts him in his place. Like the guy walks away, dude. Like let's go, Larry. Michael's dub after dub today.
Michael's dub after dub today.
But he lost on the week by like 1 or 2, right? It was like
one. Yeah,
really
it's like 1
minuscule.
point something.
He lost, and he's in his head because in the chat I'm like, dude, Michael, what are you doing, dude? Why did you keep Evan Ingram instead of Dawson Knox? I asked him that, and I was like, you should have kept Dawson Knox. He's like, and in his head right now, this is like just the formulation of this, right? It's like, he's like, fuck, like I should have kept Dawson Knox, right? Like after the game, after the matter of fact. And then so we sit there in the parking lot because no one around us moves for like a good hour. We're just sitting there. Like I crack a cold one, and we're just sitting there for an hour. And they start talking trades. I just keep my mouth shut.
And I just keep my mouth shut. He says.
But James plays his cards right. He's like, all right, like I'm okay. Like if I was Michael, I would have done what James did. I would have picked up both tight ends and then kind of figure it out as the season went on with those two, because I think those two are more or less the real deal, right? With those tight ends, it's just I think he got tilted from losing by 1, was on a good one. It's like, dude, let's make a trade, and it makes that, and then I also understand having that floor of a tight end. Like, everyone wants Kelsey from me, and I'm like, with what I'm getting, I'm like, fuck, dude, I can't go to. Like, Kelsey tucks me in at night. You know what I mean? Like, dude, like, he puts me to sleep. So it's like, I get it, feeling the comfort of like Mark Andrews. If he can give me 10 points a week, and I don't have to worry about like, fuck, is this gonna be a 0 or 7 point game? Then I guess, right? It's like that peace of mind. It might be worth more to Michael. So but I would have preferred keeping Michael's side and doing what James did on the waiver this week, because I did see two. Like, prior to this, I did not see two like valuable streamers. Like,
Really? I've been
I
eyeing Knox for like
Knox
at
is
least
good.
2 weeks now, and Schultz.
I I eyed them last week, but it was still the Jarwin narrative because Jarwin was getting touchdowns for a
You
little
know
bit.
what? You know what might have happened actually? Me and James were driving up to Zion together.
Uh,
We're driving back from Zion, and I'm like, "Yo, James, Kittle might be out. Pick between Knox and Schultz." And he's like,
uh,
"Ooh," and I'm like, man, like help me out. He's like, you go with I don't know who he said, but he said you go with like Knox or Schultz, and I'm like, but then Kittle played, so then I didn't pick up either of those, and so I think that got his. I don't know if this is right, but it might have got his juices flowing, you
okay,
know.
okay. I do agree with Roy. Before the we started, was that Michael shouldn't have traded 10 Fab as well.
Yeah,
I think
the 10
he
tab.
should have stood his ground and been like, you know what, this is that. Like, dude, I would have given Michael a higher grade. But with that being said, I think I give James an A for pulling it off, and then Michael a C plus. Like, it's not
Okay.
horrible. Like, it's not a D. Like, is passing. Like, I think it was, more or less fair. Like, gives him a peace of mind. And I do think, adding on to Royce's thing, that I do think it's Zach Moss. He does believe in Zach Moss and JD McKinney. So yeah,
Oh,
that's what happened Monday night.
Michael does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
mean
kidding.
it's a good trade if Michael has inside info on Gibson and JD, right?
Mhm.
Because JD's reception total has been creeping up every week, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the trade? You good?
I'm okay.
No, that's it.
All right. Going to the week recap. Michael versus Marcus. Marcus won. Chris versus me. I won. Vintuk versus Nick. Nick. Jonathan versus David. Jonathan. Royce versus Timmy. Timmy. James versus Ty. Ty. Weekly total. David did go 3 for 6, and I went 5 for 6. Current running percentage is David's at 0.583. I'm at 0.625, and no guess total from last week, so they're still running at 556. Let's see if
No
Royce can
guess
change.
total.
Like, no running guess total for last week, because we didn't have a
because we didn't
guess.
have a guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
So they're still 556. Thoughts on week 4's games? Royce, go ahead.
Well, all I have on here is that was some bullshit. It is pretty tilting to get the hindsight flex play, like, oh, I should have played this
We
guy. But
warned you. You should if you our running total is higher than the field, both of ours, right? We
Yeah.
literally told you. I mean, the key is right here on the cast. It's out every week. And
But yeah,
I'll
like,
give you a sneak peek. It's coming again this week.
I mean,
Go ahead,
I
Royce.
mean, like,
Listen.
going into Monday, right? Like, Josh Jacobs was injured. First half of the game, I was really hopeful because the Chargers were shutting down Josh Jacobs, and it looked like they were going to abandon the run game because they were down 21-0, and next thing you know, he gets barely enough to get past, and the rest of the game, I was hoping for like a fumble loss or something, but it is what it is. The crazy thing is, like, again, I'm in top 3 of scoring, can't get a dub, so.
Yeah, what goes up must come down. That's all I say.
We're
And
jumping
so
It's
you
been
into-
got
down.
you got tuck in these wins while you can. You gotta finish them off while you can.
All right,
But
I'll jump in here. I did call. I would have won 6 for 6 if David let me call the. I was like, can I put a stipulation that it would be Royce if no Jacobs, but he made me call my shot.
you
So,
gotta call your shot. You can't. I would like to wait until Sunday every day also to call my shot.
but Royce had it. So my bad, Royce. I know you said don't believe in me because
Yeah,
that's your
dude.
kryptonite.
Every time this pod believes in me, I lose.
And I'm gonna say it's Monday Night Miracles versus Me Lives On because Mike Williams got 2 points or something like that, and that goes back to when who was that? Percy Harvin had like 0 points on like
Oh, I think
six
I
missed
remember
bombs,
that.
like some shit like that. And Ty also had a Monday Night Miracle with Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen, so he did pull the win over James. David, your thoughts this week?
Yeah, I mean, 4 weeks in a row, Vin's team doesn't break 100. Um, it's starting to look really rough for him. I would hope he would at least break the century mark at least once by now because I think we put it at like average scoring is like around like 105 to 110, so he's scoring like well below the average, and he already has 2 dubs, which is we already said on the pod that he's due for negative regression, and it's happening. So Vin needs to mix up his squad um soon, or he's gonna dig himself a hole he can't get out of. But he does have a pretty good cushion, and I have to admit that Nick's team was looking really formidable after last week's games, but David Montgomery getting hurt like kind of brings him back down to earth a little bit. And I'm a little surprised he didn't bid more on what's his name? I forgot what his name. Damian Williams,
Yeah.
because what was a strength in his roster is now like a weakness, right?
Mhm.
So surprised he didn't bid more, but it's considering how much we bid last week for like, or the other week for like no name like Eli Mitchell. We bid like 60, 50, something, or you bid like 100, right? I bid like
Yeah, a bit
60,
122. Yep.
and I'm surprised. I mean, this guy's like not no name. He played in the game, so I'm surprised he didn't bid more.
Yeah, true. He did bid like the least of you guys.
Yeah,
Um,
and he had the
tell you what.
biggest bank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll jump into the next into the power rankings. You guys want to pull it up real quick? Just quick takes. Nick does shoot up from the Sims from 7 to 3rd, but David Montgomery is out, so I don't know how much that's going to impact the score. Biggest drop is David from 5 to 8, falling out of the top 6. Um, Michael did not regain his 12th spot
Like predicted.
predicted. My bad, but they
Yeah.
are very close. Pierre scored the highest for the power ranking score for Jonathan is at 2, so he does drop. He went from like 0.64 to like 1 point something to finally 2.07. Just like uh, David said, he said his power ranking score is going to drop down back
Mhm.
to a better level. Scores that are very close to each other from observation: 2 and 3, second and third place, fourth and fifth place, sixth and seventh place, and eights have
Oh,
ties.
eights have ties.
Yeah, yes, sir. On the podcast right here, eights have a tie, and then
Dang.
11 and 12 are very close as well. So just minuscule amount of power ranking scores between those rankings. If you wanted to look at the score. So thoughts on the power rankings, David? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Like, Jonathan's roster is really good, but it wasn't performing at like I thought. It was performing at its ceiling,
Yeah.
and I think we're tasting a little bit of his floor right now with like back-to-back sub 100 games. Also, what's interesting to me is that my rest of season roster jumped from 12 to
12.
10, jumping 2
Yes.
spots. All
It's that
right.
Rojo. It's that Rojo
It's
pickup.
that
That's
Rojo pickup,
why.
right? It's that Rojo pickup. But that's, I mean, I didn't do anything to my roster. But yeah, I'm surprised it.
It, I think it's because Vintuk's team is dropping, and then it must be Michael's team is
And
dropping with a trade.
okay, but also that's a good point to bring up that Vin's team has 4 IR players rostered,
Yeah,
3
that's
on
true.
his bench, and
Yeah.
1 in his IR spot. And so I'm surprised that I was at 12 for so long since he's only been operating with a
Mhm.
3 bench essentially.
True. On the topic of that, real quick, let's plug in the shot bet right now. We got Vintuk shot bet, 100 points because he's yet to cross the 100 threshold. His current points per game is 85.
Oh.
You guys thoughts? Does he cross the 100 threshold in a spicy matchup this week versus Timmy?
I don't think he crosses the 100
Yeah.
No.
threshold. Again, I mean, he doesn't even have a tight end in right now. Um, he just can't get AR to work. I think that's his biggest sandbag right now. I mean, AR will bounce back. We hope
I don't know,
eventually.
man.
But
We'll see.
they just announced Justin Fields as the permanent starter, so I
Yeah.
don't, or not permanent. Is it permanent?
The starter going
The
The
forward. So
starter
we'll see.
starter
going
now.
forward.
We'll see what happens,
So
right?
we'll
Like
see what happens. Yeah, and
Matt
Miles
Nagy's a freaking phone.
Gaskin falling out of
Yeah.
favor in
Yeah.
Miami. So I don't think he breaks the 100.
If
Royce.
you're listening, has been took off for you, hit your DMs.
Sorry, Vin. I don't think he's gonna get over 100.
We'll post
Okay,
it up. We'll post it up if it's too. If everyone's a resounding no, then we're gonna move.
we'll
Move
move
the
it. We'll move
goalpost.
it down.
Move it down. 87 and a half.
Royce,
What's up?
do you
your
think
thought? Go ahead.
Vin will ever reach 100?
Yeah, he.
Yeah, he can. Come on, that's too absolute for me, dude. Only
It's
Sid
out.
Steele and
It's out.
absolute.
it's Alvin Kamara. Like
I
he's
mean,
good.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens,
he
right? Like,
last year Saquon went out, I think, and he took
and
him to the grave.
he
Vin
did.
takes his
He did.
boys to the grave. So
He does. He does.
but we'll
Better or
see. We'll
worse.
see. We're hoping. We're
Yeah.
hoping. We're holding out hope for a mix-up, Vin.
All right. Go ahead, David. I'm sorry, I didn't cut into your thoughts about Vintuk and your rest of season roster.
Yeah.
You have some thoughts about that?
I see here Nick jumped up 2 points from last week, and James dropped a whopping 2.5 points. But this was before the trade. Again, I don't know what goes into the power rank score and how it's weighted and how these. But 2.5 seems like a big drop. So
I'm sure it had to do with his loss, his overall wins, like him scoring 8. So it's the overall wins, scoring that 80, lowering his points per games, but he has a better rest of the season's roster. I'm pretty sure now.
yeah, I think so. I think James will be a little bit up, but Nick. So Nick and James, James moves a little bit up, and Nick moves a little bit down after the news breaks. So watch for that
Yeah,
next week, I think.
true. All right. Thoughts on the power rankings, Royce?
Well, looking at mine, I'm like slowly climbing over the weeks, even though I'm 1-3. You look at my rest of season, I'm number 4. Overall wins.
Rest of season
third.
doesn't matter. How
Dude.
much do I have to tell y'all before you
Dude.
listen?
And then I'm over here scoring, 113 points per game, but I'm in the bottom 6. And I mean, earlier episode you say, I mean, if you can consistently score 110, you're in a good spot. Well, I'm here to say that doesn't fucking work.
It'll bounce back. You gotta believe. You gotta trust. That was
Yeah,
me
I'm
last year.
trusting
Look
the
at the
process.
field. Look
was
at
me
the
last year,
field's
too.
points per game, right? Like 110 beats like most people's points per game. 108, 107, 104,
Yeah.
110, 105,
It shows with your
right?
30 wins to 14 losses. You have the third most wins, right
Yeah.
behind Jonathan and Nick, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just scheduling.
I
Unfortunately,
think strength of schedule matters more than
Yeah, it does.
roster.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right,
Chris,
let's move
anything
on.
to add?
No, that's it. I just had the takes and all that. So let's move on to week 5 predictions. Our first game of the week is Nia and Marcus. Two guys. Has Marcus gone back to you about taking 5 shots yet?
Marcus, how about we bring this thing up to 10 shots, all right, boy? Marcus, you hit me up. You just say, "Hey, David, like, I listened to your podcast. I thought it was really offensive that you called me out like that after I watch every week. Take 10 shots, and I'll take it right here on stream, right here. Go ahead, bang my inbox."
All
But
right,
anyway,
we're gonna jump into
at the
this
end of the
matchup.
year, it's gonna go up to like 100 shots, dude.
And he'll never know.
You'll never know, dude.
Or David will literally die. He's been waiting for this stock to go up, dude.
Yeah.
Hold the line.
Marcus is holding the line, bro.
Oh shit. Okay, dude, go ahead.
Yeah.
Your thoughts first of this Yi versus Marcus
Knee
matchup.
versus Marcus. Let me pull it up real quick. So Knee Tannehill versus Dak Prescott. Surprisingly enough, I think Knee wins this one with Tannehill versus Jacksonville. Although Tannehill's weapons are a little banged up at the moment, I think the Cowboys aren't as pass heavy as they've been in years past, and Tony Pollard and Zeke will be able to run all over the Giants, and so I think Dak Prescott won't have like his ceiling games. I think he'd be closer to like 20, 21 points, and I don't think I think Tannehill will have a better than 20-point game against Jacksonville. So I give the edge to Yi. Um, for running backs, I give the edge to Yi also. Again, Zeke will feast. Zeke has been tearing it up. Carson and Taylor. Hopefully Carson plays on Thursday. I know it's a short week. I don't think he does, but even so, I think Jonathan Taylor, Zeke, um, running back core is good enough for Chubb and Cordero Patterson right now. I don't think Cordero Patterson um, touchdown rate will be as high as it's been, and I think he'll come back down to. I think he'll come back down to earth, but if not, like he's the waiver wire pickup of the year.
Of the year, yeah, absolutely.
And going back to wide receivers, I have Marcus winning. I mean, CD and Mike Williams, like they're pretty inconsistent, and CD hasn't really been performing. And going back to the Dak Prescott not throwing as much in good game scripts, I have Marcus winning with Deontay and Metcalf, who have been like steady, just or not steady as of recent, I'd say. But they do have tough matchups, but I'd still give the edge over to those known workloads and known commodities. You guys, any thoughts on your positions before we get into our changes?
Royce, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you for the most part. I mean, running backs Ngee has the better matchups. It's pretty close though, because I actually think Cordero Patterson against the Jets. Jets run defense is okay. I do think he can nab a touchdown or two, and I think that's all Marcus really needs. But looking at Zeke and Chris Carson, actually, I saw on Sleeper right now, Chris Carson's out with the neck injury. Like they're ruling him out for Thursday, so
Oh
Says
shit,
game
you
I
know him
might
time.
have to.
already?
Yeah, it's just said right here. It's on chronic long-term neck injury. Probably not gonna play on Thursday.
Okay.
I have
Chronic
game.
long-term neck. So that sounds pretty serious. So I mean, with that news, it kind of tilts towards Marcus because I mean, all he needs really is Cordero Patterson to get like one touchdown. Marcus's wide receivers. Honestly, I really think so.
wish, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, I can count on my running back getting one touchdown every week, right? That's not like
Yeah,
a
but
reasonable thing to wish for.
It's just I think I haven't watched the film, but I think it's the how do you have a 30% snap share but have three touchdowns? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like there's got to be packages built around him because he doesn't cross a 30. Like he has like around 33% of the snaps played, and he has 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like there
I
has to be some
I
kind of
think the Kyle
utilization and
Pitts
packages. For him.
plays are going to Cordero Patterson.
Maybe.
Okay.
Like like where they're getting to short yardage, maybe a green zone, red zone
Mm.
type thing, and they just chuck it down, and he's fast. I'm like pretty sure he's
Yeah,
like
he's
quick.
super fast though.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think he can find that edge quick and just run it in. Cause he's big. He's a big
Yeah.
boy. He's not
yeah.
big. He's big for a wide receiver, I think.
He's big for a running back. He's a wide receiver
Yeah.
because running
Yeah.
backs aren't usually.
So he'll he'll get out to the edge quick and just run it in. But
Mhm.
I mean, I don't want to count on Cordell Patterson touchdown in the red zone every week.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But
Who
Okay.
go
knows?
ahead.
Mixon might come back. So
I
I
who
think
knows?
I
hope
think the only
not.
thing so it's that Mixon Carson like whether they play. So it turns out Carson's
Yeah.
not playing. Um, Marcus is treating it like Mixon doesn't play. So the only thing that I differ in opinion on is that the quarterback goes to Marcus from David. All right. Jumping into the next part, is there a position matchup it goes down to? I said Joe Mixon and Chris Carson need to play for their highest ceiling. Otherwise, I would have to stay with the flex, right? I'm not sure who Knee is going to put in the flex, which we'll talk about next. But does Kareem Hunt get his chance against the Chargers? Thoughts on the position matchup, Royce?
Yeah, I think Nee just needs the upside of his running backs to pull through to offset, his wide receiver mismatch against Marcus. I do think that Brown stack. I mean, as a former Brown stack owner,
Royce economics.
yeah, dude.
Royce walked so we can run, man.
Yeah. So I mean, it could
Royce did
happen.
it when it was taboo.
Yeah. So I mean, Marcus, I could see with Chris Carson out, I could see Marcus pulling one out
Mhm.
actually. So I might be changing my my vote now.
I think it come or go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Oh no, I think no, I already went here. Go ahead.
I
Finish up.
think it comes down to like echoing what you guys said, Cordero getting like touchdowns. Like, I mean, I don't want to bank on my running back getting that's the reason why like you play running backs because you have that known like 10, 15 rushes attempts a game. That's why running backs go so early in this game because you have that known workload. But what the thing with Cordero is he doesn't have like a known workload at like 30% snap share. All he does is like run in for touchdowns and eventually like those touchdowns aren't going to come as much. So I don't like banking on touchdowns as much. I mean the box score is like insane, but like you can't keep on counting on touchdowns. And so I have actually Knee winning this one out just for that reason alone.
Okay.
And if I were Marcus, I would actually play Matt Stafford, not just the homer pick, but I think Matt Stafford doesn't force the ball as much against Seahawks, and I think he wants to bounce back. Whereas Dak Prescott, I can see them running the ball more with Tony Pollard and Zeke.
Okay. I'll go here. A change I would make is I might play Kenny Galladay over Kareem Hunt. I like the divisional matchup shootout potential there. And then for me, if Chris Carson's out, I would play Jamar Chase against a very depleted Green Bay secondary instead of in his flex.
For me, I mean, same thing. Galladay, I would love to see Galladay in the lineup, but I did say Galladay instead of Hunt. But now looking at it, how crazy am I to put Chubb RB1, Hunt RB2, and Galladay at flex?
Oh, no, you would drop
No,
Cordell and
no Cordarrelle.
Bro, we
How
told Marcus to
crazy
play
am I?
Cordero last week, and he dropped a 32. You gotta.
That's true.
The table's hot right now. All right,
That's true.
the table's
Hot
hot.
hand fallacy,
You
dude.
can't. The table's hot. I can't find a way.
I've lost a lot of money when David says the table is hot. Is all I'm gonna
That's
say.
because when you come in.
That's because you should have
That's
played.
because you. That's probably what's gonna happen this week. Marcus is joining a little late, but okay. Yeah, I
So
can
everyone
see.
everyone has me.
Yeah,
Oh wow, I'll have me.
I have me.
Okay.
I have me.
Okay.
David, you have me.
Yeah, I
Alright.
have me. Next
Jump into the next
matchup.
matchup. We got Ty versus David. David can go last because this is his matchup. Royce, you can go first here. Go
All
ahead.
right.
Thoughts on this
So
matchup?
yeah. So quarterbacks, obviously David. Patrick Mahomes is a beast. Running backs, Ty, obviously. Um, he has. Let me pull that up real quick. Ty, where'd he go? Okay. Yeah, I mean
I don't even think
Eckler.
you have to look it up.
Yeah, I mean,
dude.
I'm no, I'm just saying like Eckler and CEH, right? That's pretty good. This is what you get for shitting on CEH like
I mean,
2 weeks ago,
I
right?
don't. I mean,
Yeah.
CEH. All right, watch how he does this week, and then I think it's like a little bit of an aberration, but we'll get.
It could be a matchup play though. It could be
Yeah.
like, hey, play him against the bad matchups and sit him for against the. I mean,
Yeah.
play him against a good matchup, sit him against the bad matchup.
Yeah,
Okay.
and for wide receivers, I'm actually saying push. Even though Ty has like the big names, and David has the Brandon Cooks, the chef, oh the chief. Sorry, the chief. The chief.
Not to
The chief.
confuse him with Dalvin Cook.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I mean Mike Evans. Mike Evans is on the up after that week 1 performance, so I think it's a push. I think that's a key place where the matchup's going to be, and then tight ends, obviously David if Kittle plays. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and I agree with everything. I think the wide receivers go to Ty because I like the divisional matchup narrative. I like Keenan Allen. Brandon Cooks against New England might be a little bit rough. The way they held uh,
Mike Evans
the,
and Antonio
the way
Brown.
Houston was held to like a very low amount of points last week. 0, right? It's a 0.
Yeah.
And then I would say Flex is leaning David. I really like the Corey David matchup, but that's the only differences I have. Go ahead and defend yourself, David.
Yeah, I have myself winning quarterback. For running back, I think I have Ty winning, but if CMC plays this week, then I would say maybe a push. For wide receivers, I have myself winning. I mean, he's got big names on his team. Yes, but if you like peel back the curtain, like I mean, they're like pretty up and down, right? Both of them, Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen, like they have their like 2 good games, 2 bad games, so you don't know which one you're gonna get. Whereas I see like Brandon Cooks and Mike Evans are like have been kind of consistent. I mean, they've had one bad
Mhm.
game each, but for the most part, they've been like pretty consistent, and they're like kind of the target hogs of their team. Like Brandon Cooks, he's like the only guy there, so he's gonna throw to him. Corey Davis, the only guy there, so they're gonna throw it to him. And Mike Evans is
Yeah.
he
Can't
gets a lot
complain.
of targets.
Yeah, double-digit targets. You can't complain there.
Yeah, you can't. So I that's why I think my wide receivers have that target floor. So I give myself the win there. What position this is gonna come down to, obviously for me is my weakness every week is the running back position. I'm trying to
True.
work on that, but
True.
the fab's just not going my way.
Mhm.
But what do you guys think about positional matchups? And
I'm gonna go same thing. I think David needs. First of all, every time he's played Naeem Hines so far, he's like shit the bed for
all
him.
right, do I roll him out one more time?
One
This
time for the
is
one
this
time.
is this is Naeem Hines on my bench. Give me one more chance.
One more chance.
Give me one more chance.
And then I think the Mahomes Buffalo needs to be a shootout to make up for the positional difference for David. Um, Thoughts, Royce?
Yeah, I think yeah, Mahomes needs to go off to offset that running back tilt. Um I still do think both teams are like push on wide receivers. But it's gonna be interesting to see the wide receiver battle because are the targets gonna prevail, or are the the big names gonna be relied on heavily these for this matchup.
Mhm.
I also think flex is gonna be pretty good too because I mean it's Corey Davis versus
Marquise.
Marquise Brown, which I mean I think Corey Davis edges on that, but it's also interesting because Lamar could just start targeting Marquise Brown really heavily too. So
True,
it's
he's
gonna
been
be
passing the
interesting
ball
wide
more.
receiver battle.
Absolutely. Is there anything you would change, Royce? For anyone?
I might play AB over Marquise Brown.
What about
Okay.
my team? What about my team?
Uh,
It's perfect.
I'd play Naeem Hines, baby,
Over who?
over Samaje. Doesn't matter if
Okay.
Joe Mixon's out or not.
Okay.
Um, for David, I might try to squeeze Jacoby Myers in, but I really don't know where. Um, maybe the Corey Davis, maybe the Brandon Cooks instead of. I might play Jacoby Myers instead of Brandon Cooks. That's kind of like all three of them are kind of in the same tier, so that's kind of upset. No, you know what? Brandon
I
Cooks is a
mean,
player
Brandon
is in the higher
Cooks.
tiers. It's just the matchup.
I mean, Brandon Cooks is like the wide receiver 7 on our scoring. It's hard to. I mean, even though his name is Brandon Cooks and not like a big name like a Amari Cooper, right? If
Yeah.
you, I mean, I can't find myself benching him after what he's done for my team.
It's just, okay. So against Buffalo with 0 points, it's 7.2, and if the New England narrative is New England's defense takes away the their
The number
best
one
target,
option.
the number one option, then they would be taking
We
away
do
Brandon
have the
Cooks.
New England versus rookie quarterbacks narrative, and that did burn me with Corey Davis. So that
Mhm.
could play a factor. I agree.
So just a thought, but I agree. I would find it very very hard myself to say Brandon Cooks, but if anything, it'd be Jacoby Myers against that Houston matchup. Um, for Ty, I might play depending on the Geo news. I might play Leonard Fournette instead of Marquise if Gio is out because he got like 80% of the snaps last week.
Yeah,
Um. So David, you got yourself.
of course.
I got Ty. Royce, you got.
Ty gets the dub.
All right.
Wow.
Moving into the next one.
I'm
Sorry,
gonna
my
make you
dude.
guys eat your
Sorry, man.
words.
Hey, do it.
All I'm gonna say is you gonna wish you picked me at the end of this week.
All right. I got my win percentage to run up, so I can't do that. All right. Timmy versus Vincent next matchup. I'll go first here because I have not gone first yet. Pulling up the Timmy versus Vincent right now, real quick. Quarterback, I got Timmy. Running backs, I think are more or less a push. Um, really close. I think Alvin Kamara should go off this week, but you also have Hendog and Jacobs versus Javante. Um, and as you know what, Javante versus Pittsburgh, but I think Kamara has about gets a good amount of points. So I'll say push there. Wide receivers, I'll go Timmy. Always every week I've gone Timmy for his wide receiver
I
picks.
mean, how could you
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
To me, has that locked and loaded.
Tight end, obviously Timmy, just because
Mike
Logan
Gesicki.
Thomas.
Oh, okay, I see.
Just because Logan Thomas and Vincent has some demons he needs to face or make. Um, and the flex is gonna be Timmy as well because that 97 fab is gonna be put straight to use.
Yeah.
Thoughts, David?
Just
Anything different?
just an aside here. Weathering with you or Kimi no Nawa. What have you watched it, Chris?
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't watched both. I need to, but it's on my 2 watch list. But I just don't watch movies. So
Royce, which
Your name.
one? Your
Your
name's
name.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think your name.
But a silent voice is probably the best one.
really, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
That one.
is
That one
that the
hits
one
deeper.
where?
She's deaf.
Yeah, she's deaf. She gets bullied.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
dude.
haven't seen that
Oh,
one.
is that the same? Is that the same? Are those all the same directors or production studio or
Studio.
something?
I don't know.
I think. What is Kimi no Nawa Studio Ghibli? No, right?
No, I don't.
Okay,
think so.
I don't
I
think
know.
so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
But
is silent voice Studio Ghibli?
I thought so.
Yeah. Maybe.
Voice.
But yeah, a silent voice is the best one.
I've only heard good things about it. Welcome
Yeah.
welcome to our anime podcast.
Yeah. But yeah.
No,
What were you
it's
gonna say, David?
Kyoto Animation. But
Oh.
yeah. So anyways, that aside apart. Yeah,
Who
I
you
think
got?
for quarterback I have Timmy with Russell Wilson against the Rams. I think the Rams just got like torched recently. Their secondary just got torched by a washed up ganja. So I think Russell Wilson, but actually Russell Wilson and the Seahawks haven't been letting him cook as much recently.
Mhm.
They're going towards more of a balanced offense, but I do have Timmy. You're gonna need to throw the ball against the Rams.
Mhm.
Running
I agree.
backs, I have pushing Jacobs and Hendog versus Kamara and Javante. I mean, Vin has that big name Kamara, but Timmy has the two steady Eddies, Jacobs and Henderson. So it's a push there. Wide receivers, Timmy all day, every day. And what I think it comes down to is Vin's boom or bust flex play, or if AJ Brown plays. But all else, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
So
Russ.
yeah, same. I think Timmy's got the edge for quarterback. I mean, Russell Wilson versus the Rams, I think he's gonna throw a lot for that. Running backs, I actually have Vin. I think Kamara is gonna do really well. And Jacobs, I mean, that last week he was injured. He looked really slow.
He's
Almost cost Timmy the game. you know, but Hendog should be pretty good. I just think I'm I'm a Javonte Williams truther.
Hmm.
I think Denver's gonna eventually hand him the #1 role.
I
So
don't
it's
know. Melvin Gordon's been
Yeah,
like,
not this year. I don't think it's the right. As long as Melvin Gordon's healthy, I don't know.
yeah,
Mhm.
Melvin Gordon's been playing like he's not been playing bad, right?
Exactly.
He can't lose the job how he's playing.
Yeah, but I think Javonte will score enough to to give Vin the edge for running backs with that Kamara. Kamara's due for a really big game against
Exactly.
Washington
I
too.
agree.
Yeah. Wide receivers easily Timmy. Tight ends I have Timmy because I mean Logan Thomas is on IR. And then flex. I think Timmy's 97 fab pays off for the flex. So yeah.
You know what? I'm bummed Vincent didn't even put a waiver bid in. Like I get like no one would have wanted the 30 bid for Knox or Schultz, but like, he didn't even bid, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I
I
think it was
don't know
just
what he's
Timmy,
waiting
James, and
on.
you. I don't either.
I mean,
So
I don't know what's gone into the Vin bros, man. Last
Yeah.
year, he doesn't want to play. This year, Vin doesn't want to play.
yeah,
Yeah.
My
we'll see.
my best wishes to the No-Win family, man.
Right.
Hope
All right.
everything's good over there.
Is there a position this matchup is going to come down to? I think Vin needs a lot to go well for his team. He needs AR production. Maybe he needs AJ Brown to come back. He also needs to get rid of like one IR player because he has 3 IR spots out of 15 spots. So yeah, he needs a lot to do with his team right now.
Yeah,
Royce, what do you?
oh
Oh, go ahead,
god.
David.
I think Vin has in his flex right now, Hunter Renfro. I think that's a good
Yeah.
play if AJ Brown is out because he is that deep threat. And is he the deep threat? No, it's Ruggs, right?
No, it's Ruggs. He's a slot.
He's
He's a slot touchdown guy. He's reliable.
yeah, he's reliable, right? And he does have that ceiling because I think they do take shots to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a good play there over AJ Brown. So I wouldn't change anything on Vin's side. What about you, Royce?
I think the Jamison Crowder looks pretty juicy
Yeah.
playing the flex, right? Yeah, it's a toss up. It might be like a Saturday night set and forget thing, because I do like Hunter Renfro too, but Jamison Crowder's first game back looked really good. So yeah, who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you guys got?
Timmy.
I think it's a unanimous Timmy.
Okay, so Timmy. All right.
Timmy doesn't have a defense in, and he's projected to win by 80%. But yeah,
A little rough. A little
that's
rough.
a little
All right.
rough.
Let's jump
Yeah.
into my matchup versus Michael. Chris versus Michael.
Royce.
Royce, go ahead.
So for quarterbacks, I actually think it's going to be a push. I do think Jalen Hurts is really, really good, and I mean Aaron
Good for
Rodgers.
fantasy.
Excuse
Good for
me.
Put
fantasy.
that
Good for
stipulation,
fantasy.
better than
please.
that. I know better than that. Good for
Sorry.
fantasy.
Come
He's good for
on.
fantasy. He's like airing it out. He's like running all that stuff. Very good to see in fantasy. So I think it's pretty equal on that. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is gonna do what Aaron Rodgers does. Running backs, I have Michael. Enough said. Even after that trade, he still got Crispy in the running back area. Wide receivers, I have Chris. Diggs versus KC. I think that's going to be a good matchup. Calvin Ridley versus the Jets. I mean, if Matt Ryan can, not do Matt Ryan things, I think Ridley can do really well. That's a London game too, right? Or like,
Yeah, London game.
yeah.
Wait,
London
which
And
game
then
is the London Day game?
Atlanta, New York Jets.
Yeah.
6:30
Good to know.
a.m.
Yeah, and then tight ends, I have Chris, obviously, and yeah. Oh yeah, and flex. Flex, I actually have Chris. Marvin Jones looking really good with DJ Chark out. He might eat. So
David, go ahead.
Not LaVisca, your pickup.
I mean,
Both can eat, dude.
I mean they could both
Dude,
eat with
Marvin Jones didn't eat last week with Chark going out.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what happened
So
there.
yeah. Um, are you done, Royce?
yeah. I'm done.
Yeah, I'll hop in. QB, I actually have who do I have? QB, I have Chris winning. Jalen Hurts has that rushing baseline, Aaron Rodgers doesn't. I think Hurts needs to throw it more and run it more to help his team on offense because they're like a little lacking. Whereas Aaron Rodgers does have Aaron Jones to run the football like pretty efficiently.
Mhm.
So I do have Chris winning in that department. Michael wins RBs for Royce's reasons again. And Michael's winning in wide receivers. I mean, DJ Moore is looking like a top 5 wide receiver rest of season. It's like insane, like what happened to him. Like just Sam Darnold and DJ Moore is like kind of Cooper Cup and Matthew Stafford
Yeah.
light, right?
Yeah.
Um, Chris does have the big names, but until they do it, I have to go with DJ Moore, who's been doing it for
Fair.
like
Absolutely.
3 weeks in a row. And Godwin is also like a target hog also for like a pass happy offense, so I like it there. Chris has tight end every week until the rest of time. So what it comes down to is the flex play, right? So Marvin Jones versus Emmanuel Sanders. And I'll just hop in and say, I might not play Emmanuel Sanders. I might play Randall Cobb for that Aaron Rodgers, Randall Cobb stack and MVS sitting out. I don't think Chris would have a bittersweet moment with the
Yeah.
Randall Cobb Aaron Rodgers stack
True.
for
True.
that
True.
upside.
All right. I agree with you guys. Is my main difference. Other than that, yeah, I think it'll be a good fight, good match.
You had yourself
Uh,
winning? I'm sorry,
I
I
do.
think we
I
missed it.
no
I
no
think
not
we
yet, not yet.
missed it.
Yeah, you kind of muted right there.
Or
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think the only thing was the wide receiver push. Like I think my names and that they're due for some higher weeks, but I do believe in that DJ Moore hype. That he is the real deal, and Sam Darnold is targeting him like crazy. So, um, I think it'll be a close matchup. Did I pick up a little bit better?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So I think it's going to come down to running backs putting up a good the flexes against each other.
I might go on Chris's side of the roster. I might actually go Book of Eli over um
Marvin Jones.
James
not
Conner.
Marvin
James
I
Conner.
might put him over James Conner.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the practice.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am see myself running backs before the the start of kickoffs.
Yeah, any changes you'd make, Royce?
No, I think it's solid. The Emmanuel Sanders play, I'm kind of digging. I'm all for the hype. Emmanuel Sanders looking pretty good against Kansas City too. I feel like they're gonna pass a lot, so Emmanuel Sanders has a chance to eat. But besides that, I mean, it looks good both. I agree with the lineups.
Okay. So I have Michael, or who is it?
You said you have
Yeah, I
Michael.
have Michael winning, and Chris has himself, and Royce has Chris winning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, the last thing is I do see T Higgins being played instead of Emmanuel Sanders if he's healthy. He is practiced. He is expected to practice. So, or is practicing.
Yeah, T. Higgins would be a good play.
All right.
Um,
Two more games. We
yeah.
got James and Jonathan next. Um, James and Jonathan. I'll go first here. For the quarterback, I have slight Jonathan just for the matchup. I think the shootout against Kansas City will help. Um, running backs, I have James with his acquired and Gibson and Dalvin Cook or Swift. And you know what? You can decide who you put in the Swift, who's technically the flex player there between Swift and Gibson. But I do have the running backs going to James, wide receivers going to Jonathan with their upside, Tyler Lockett and DeAndre Hopkins. And the tight end goes to Jonathan as well. And the flex goes to Jonathan as well because of Debo's hot hand currently. David, go ahead.
Quarterback I actually have going to Kyler Murray. I mean, Kyler Murray's
Mm,
been like pretty good so far, and he does have that. I mean, he's rushed for almost a touchdown in every game, but
mhm.
Josh Allen does have like the same type of upside as Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's just done it for more consistently over the year. For running backs, I have it pushing depending on Dalvin Cook's status. If Dalvin Cook has a similar workload to what he had last week, I think it'd be a push I think I would have it leaning Jonathan's side but if he gets his full workload, then I think it's a push.
Fair.
Wide receivers, I have Jonathan because I mean James wide receiver core is looking a little bit rough right now. I mean he has
Yeah.
a bunch of wide receiver twos. He just doesn't have that. He doesn't have that one holding it down. So I give the edge to Jonathan. And for tight ends, I actually have it pushing because I do really like Knox. Knox has a role in the offense, and again, that Kansas City matchup, you already know it's gonna be a shootout,
Yeah.
so you want a
You want a
piece of
piece of
that
it.
offense, yeah. Um, Go ahead, Royce.
Yeah, so I actually have the QBs pushing because I mean Kyler Murray proved he can do it against really good defenses. He did it against the Rams last week. And Josh
Yeah.
Allen, I am still believing that Kansas City and Bills is going to be a shootout. He's going to pass a lot and get a lot of touchdowns. So I feel like it's going to be pretty even in that category. Running backs, I have James, but with the caveat that, I mean, all his running backs right now are either limited or missed practice. So we'll see how they do if they get a limited workload. Yeah, the only thing keeping Jonathan from beating James in running backs is that Miles Sanders
Yeah,
start.
that's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wide receivers, I have Jonathan. That's easy. Tight ends, I actually have TJ Hawkinson because I think Dawson Knox can get his looks, but the on the Bills, the wide receivers eat first. So Knox usually gets the leftovers. So
He gets the red zone targets
He gets
currently.
yeah.
he's trusted in the red zone.
Yeah.
I see.
And I mean, like he's had like at least one touchdown in the last 3 games.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, he's had multiple touchdowns the last 3 games.
He's pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's on a better offense.
Yeah, that's true. I mean Hawkinson's the target hog
Yeah,
over there.
he is the number one over there.
You know, he's bound to hit and he's bound to miss too. At flex I have Jonathan because Debo. As much as I hate Debo for taking taking
Hey,
Ayuk's thunder, I think Debo's got kids and beat in that category.
Okay. Yeah, I have I have Jonathan winning this one. What about you guys?
I have Jonathan. Yeah.
I have Jonathan as well, but you know what? If I
You
and
cut out.
You cut out a little bit, Chris?
Yeah.
can you guys hear me? Check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Jonathan winning, but if I was feeling spicy, I might put Ganja in.
I would
And I
also
think
put Ganja in.
Yeah.
I think James is gonna be flipping coins for tight end all week, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the rest of the matchup.
Yeah. I think we all have Jonathan winning this week.
Mhm.
And for the matchup of the week, we have Royce versus Nick. I think these are two teams hitting their stride at the
Yes,
right
sir.
moment. And one of them has to come out on. I mean, I think we were actually pretty close to a tie like last week or 2 weeks ago, actually.
Mhm.
But I think one of them has to come out on top of this, and we'll see who because everyone counts, and it's just unfortunate that both of them are hitting their stride at the same time.
Yeah.
But
So who do you got, David? Go ahead and
yeah,
talk to
so
the skill position.
for quarterback, let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, for quarterback, I have it as a wash. Surprisingly, Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady. I mean, they're gonna give you like 20 to 23 points every week. I think they're good for that. And for running backs, I think I have Royce with Derrick Henry and James Robinson. I think Derrick Henry is the number one running back on the year right now, and James Robinson getting more incorporated into the offense beats out Saquon and AJ Dillon. If Dave Montgomery didn't get hurt, then it'd be a wash. But you don't feel good with rolling out AJ Dillon on every week basis on a week. So I give Royce the edge there. Wide receivers, I give it to Nick. Cooper Cup is built differently. And Royce on the other side doesn't have anybody comparable. I mean, Justin Jefferson's been pretty good lately, but Cooper Cup's just on a different level than Justin Jefferson, I think. Tight ends goes to Nick. Kyle Pitts, he's got to show that he can like get a touchdown, and Darren Waller is like a known commodity, so I give that edge to Nick. What about you, Chris? We'll have Royce go last.
Yeah, I got. I don't think it's a wash. I think Lamar Jackson's a better play. I think Tom Brady's coming downstairs a little bit with that 11-point play last week. Running backs go to Royce because he has to play AJ Dillon as well. Wide receivers, I think, goes to Nick straight up. Like, not even, like, no contest. Terry McLaurin and Cooper Kupp are hot right now. And then tight end is Nick. So I agree with that. Your thoughts, Royce, on this matchup?
Yeah, I think quarterbacks is pretty it's pretty even right there. I mean, Tom Brady's Tom Brady, even though that 11-point game might, turn you away, but I think he's going to do pretty well against Miami. Lamar Jackson does have the rushing upside though, but I do think it's a push. Running backs, I have me. I mean, look at that running back stack. It's kind of disgusting.
It ain't disgust. It's good, okay? It ain't disgusting. Right.
It's kind of disgusting.
It's not.
It's at wide receiver. I think Nick has it easily, even if Julio comes back. Julio's got a really favorable matchup against Jacksonville, but I'm not too sure he'll be back in time. Tight ends, I have Nick as well. Waller's a target hog. But I will say that Pitts has been hitting like 60, 70 yards receiving every game. It's just that one touchdown. That one touchdown is the difference between a 7-point game and a 13, 14-point game.
Yeah.
And flex, I have me because Chase Edmonds has been looking really good. He's got Michael Pittman against Baltimore. I think Chase Edmonds has the upside on that.
For me, what it comes down to, as always, is Royce's flex play. Like, I think Royce's flex play matters the most out of anyone. Seeing how all of his weeks are going, he could easily be like 3-1 right now if he played the right flex. So for the love of God, Royce, listen to this section, okay? I'm putting you on the full screen, all right? I'm putting you on the full screen, all right, Royce? Royce, for your flex play, okay? Do not play Devonta, or for your wide receiver, do not play Devonta Parker. You need to play Devonta, what's his name?
Smith.
You need to play Devonta Smith, okay? That's the difference this week. Trust me. What about you, Chris?
I'm going to say the 21 points is going to be put together. Bills score 24, 22 points or something like that. And I can see the same thing happen for New England because they did do a good job versus Tampa Bay. So I can see, a good amount of points for the New England defense, and that may make the difference there to help offset his running back injury. As well, options. I would play any one of these over the Devontae Parker.
Literally, Devonta Parker is the exact wrong play.
Ayuk, Mooney, Cheval, or Devontae Smith. Like, legit, any of those over the Devontae Parker. However, I do see where you're coming from. You're running the hot hand, the Tampa Bay matchup with the weak corners, the weak secondary. I'm just not sure if it's going to be enough. Like, you don't want the 6-point floors that he's been putting the past 2 weeks. Like, against Buffalo, it was 6.7, so that's very possible. Against New England, it was 10.10. So, I think any of those plays should get you more than 10 points. So.
Yeah, so about that, like that, I do think it comes down for me to win is that wide receiver 2 spot to plug in because I think the flex play is solid. The reason I'm like Devontae Parker, he's playing against Tampa Bay defense secondary that gives up the most points to wide receivers. That's the only reason I have him in right now. But obviously, it's going to be subject to change. I'm going to be flip flopping, and who knows? Monday night I might be regretting who I play.
Yeah.
Laviska Shenault looks good.
True.
Really good.
Yes.
Devontae Smith. The only thing Devontae Smith has come through for me a lot of times, and the only thing stopping me kind of is that Carolina defense, which is pretty stingy in the pass game. But I could just trust that he's the number one target. He'll get his. So I am at a 3-way crossroads right now with those 3.
So what are
That's my
you
brain right
leading
there.
right now after hearing what me and Chris said?
I might be leaning LaVisca Chenault, bro, but we'll see. It might
We'll
change.
see. We'll see
I'm not,
come Monday.
I'm not even mad at that either.
I mean,
Whack, so.
it's like, yeah, LaVisca. What is that? I mean, we're running a little bit long, but so yeah, you gotta think long and hard about the wide receiver to
Yeah.
play.
Mhm.
Do you want to recap the shot bets we got this week, Chris?
Wait, so who do you got, David, really quick?
Oh, I wrote. Oh, sorry, I got Royce winning if he listens. All right, so
And he's calling his
so
shot.
if you
He's calling his shot because that's how he told me. But go ahead and give me calculation so you can.
so if Royce doesn't put Devonta Smith in, I go Nick.
Okay. But you're calling your shot right now, Royce.
Yeah, I got me. Regardless of who I play at wide receiver too.
Okay. And I got Nick, unfortunately. All right. And just to wrap it up, shot bets this week. We got game of the week. I will post up for. I usually try to post up right when the video is sent. And then so we got Royce versus Nick. Does Vinta get over 100 points? And does Michael get back to go back to the 12th spot because he is playing me this week? So
Okay.
I think a loss might take him there. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
good luck, everybody. Good luck, Royce. Good luck, Chris, in your
Thank
matchups.
you. Good luck, guys.
All right. Sorry, I ran a little bit long, everybody. Bye.
Later, guys.
Night.
Good luck this week.